gente, Evelyn Rodrigues aqui em Miami, UFC 314, ao lado do ex-campeão do peso-pena, Alexander Volkanovski, que vai tentar recuperar o cinturão neste sábado contra o brasileiro Diego Lopes, cinturão que tá vago. Hi, how are you? Thank you so much for talking to us today.
No worries at all. Thanks for having me.
He was telling me that he knows some words in Portuguese, right?
Yeah, a couple. I can only think of one at the moment. Obrigado. You know, I was going to say that at the end, but there you go, I threw it out there.
How do you prepare mentally for a fighter like Diego Lopes?
Just how I always prepare. Obviously, he's a very dangerous opponent, and you need to have the right strategy. You know, you make any false moves out there, you can capitalize and finish the fight. So, you know, you just prepare. It's all in preparation. That's what it comes down to. You know, I'm mentally prepared every single time. Especially the confidence comes mentally from preparation.
There is a lot of respect between you two. Mm-hmm. When you fight somebody that you respect, that's different, like when you prepare?
No, I respect all my opponents. You know, I get along with pretty much everyone. So it's easy. Wherever I appreciate the guy, I respect the guy, I find a way to use that, you know, to benefit me. And then if there's bad blood, I'll use that to benefit me anyway. So I always find a way and make it work.
What is about Diego's style that makes him so dangerous?
Aggressive, very, very aggressive. You know, and it's fun. You know, very, very fun for the fans. That's why he's, you know, got a lot of hype around him. We've got a lot of support because he's very exciting. You know, very dangerous because of how aggressive he is. There is things that you can capitalize. Obviously, you know, it's risks when you fight so aggressive, but you know, it's usually, you know, they're usually dangerous opponents because of how aggressive they are.
When did you first start noticing Diego in the UFC?
I remember when he had the debut, when he fought Mosbar in the short notice. I remember watching that and be like, wow, like, you know, he did such a great job for a debut. So yeah, it was pretty impressive. And then kept on him from then. I've been following him on Instagram for a while too. He's a very nice guy, and you know, we've always had a lot of respect for each other. I didn't expect him to rise that quickly, but yeah, but here we are.
708 days for him from his debut to the title.
That's impressive.
For you, you've been here for so long. I don't even know how many records you have, because every time I have to keep noting, you know, like making more notes about it. But it's at least like 13 years as a pro, 30 fights, 6 title fight wins. What else do you want to conquer?
Obviously, I want that belt back. So, you know, 2-time champion. I want more defenses, and just keep it rolling. I just want to. But main thing right now is remind everyone that I've still got it. I'm still that guy. You know, I've got a young, hungry guy in opponent in Diego Lopes, but I want to show that I can still take out these guys.
When you think about legacy, how do you want to be remembered?
Obviously, I want to be remembered as a great, but just a good dude. You know what I mean? I'm just happy I was able to be myself through the whole process, and I think that's most important. You know, the legacy is going to be great, but I think everyone will really appreciate who I am even more than that.
How do you win this Saturday?
How do I win? I think I can get the victory everywhere, but I believe I can get the finish because he's so aggressive. You know, you've got to be careful, you've got to watch out and make sure you don't get caught, but at the same time, there's plenty to capitalise. So I think I can capitalise on his aggression. And maybe a TKO. If not, you know, take him into deep waters and, you know, either get a late finish or we get a decision.
I also want to ask you about, because Patricio Pitbull is a Brazilian also coming to the UFC and making his debut this weekend. How do you see his fight against Evelyn Rodrigues, and do you see yourself facing him in the future? I
mean, if he gets a big win, I think that's, you know, there's a good chance the UFC would want that. You know, he's a decent name, there's history there. Yeah, big win against Evelyn Rodrigues. You know, he's got a tough opponent ahead of him in Rodrigues, but if he has a big win, I think, you know, you never know. The UFC could be pushing him to fight.
I just want you to invite Brazil to watch your fight on UFC Fight Pass this Saturday. Thank you so much for talking to us.
Okay, no worries at all. Brazil, make sure you tune in UFC 314 in Miami. It's going to be a good one. Obrigado.